Hi, Sylvia here. Prompt 2 of Junk Journal January tonight. And it is quote. So, as you can see, I've got a piece of cardboard here because things might get a little bit messy. So just for a minute or two, let's see how we go. I think I want to make a background. Of course, this is very flimsy paper and not really designed for watercolor, but it is going to get some watercolor regardless whether it wants it or not. Are you taking part in Junk Journal January? Let me just... Have you had a go? Have you been watching some of the videos, other people's videos? It's a really good way. Oops, come on. There we are. Nice and wet. I want it wet. Wet, wet, wet. I really want it wet, and I want orange. I'm one of those really messy people. That's what I am. This is a bit dirty, woman. Lesson for you here. Clean your watercolors. I mean, I use my watercolors so rarely. It's not necessarily... but I just want something loose and vaguely orange. I will have to dry this with the heat gun. Right, that'll do. Just put... Come on. Just use my fingers, get the hair off. That's fine. So I'm going to use my heat gun on that and get this dried up, and then I will be back. So just as I was drying it, I realized that I wanted to do something else to it before I dried it. So not to worry, we'll just go back and wet it again. It is only watercolor, so we're not too worried about that, are we? Like, so we'll just put a bit more dabbing it on. That's fine. Loose and crazy is perfectly acceptable. See, now what I'm going to do, because it's wet, I'm going to put in some of my collected mixed embossing powder. I sometimes, when I don't pick all the embossing powder up, I collect it all together. Don't matter which colors there are, and keep them in this little pot. I mean, you know, waste not, want not, and all that. So I'm gently, very, very gently, gonna sprinkle just a couple of oops, she says very gently. She's going to blow away anyway. Just a couple of bits along, just to give it a bit of something. And then I'm going to put my heat gun on. Actually, I might just tap it off a bit. That's better. Now just put my heat gun on it. Let's see what happens. So here we are, and some of the embossing powder has done what embossing powder was meant to be doing. So let me just remove all this. Quotes. I know I have a few quotes, quite a lot of them that I choose from, and I always think of quotes as, I know they're not always, but I always think of quotes as something romantic. But this particular one is a new one to me. And what I liked about this particular one is the fact that it is to do with creativity. And so when I came across it, I thought, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quote on creativity. My initial quote was, oh, where's the beginning of this? Oh, I've lost the beginning. My initial quote I was going to use is, we change tomorrow with what we do today, which is one of my super duper favorite quotes of all time. I think I use it for everything. But like I said, then I decided, and I came across this particular quote, and I thought, oh, that's quite a good one. So I'm going to use that particular quote, and I'm going, because initially when I thought about this, what I'm going to do, I was going to do a bird anyway. But this particular quote is actually really good because it is about, well, it's not about a bird, but it mentions a bird. So this is what I'm going to do. And I have a bird. I just so happen to have a bird, which is my absolute, oh, look at that. My absolute favorite bird, which just so happens to be a kingfisher. I think they are so beautiful, and I think I have seen one. And why I say I think I've seen one, it's the fact that I'm not 100% sure it was a kingfisher. I want to think it is a kingfisher, but it might not have been. Anyway, so I'm using this mesh, which gets you, I think plasterers, it's plasterers mesh. They stick it on the wall to, I don't know, secure corners and things like that. Recommend it to anyone. Makes a great background for anything. So that is what I'm using. Although I've done it wrong now because I've foolishly, hopefully, oh, it's okay. So I'm just going to stick that on here. No bother. And then I am just, I might need something underneath my birdie bird. What can I put under my birdie? But I've lost. Oh, that happens when you tidy up your room. You lose things. I have lost. If you hear some clanking, that's just me. Ah, here it is. I have had lost, until I've now simply found it again, some silver thread. So I'm going to just cut myself some silver. Why do I need so many scissors? Cut myself some silver thread to go underneath the little birdie. I am going to handwrite my quote, as a matter of fact. Like I said before, my handwriting is not the best known to mankind, but I am still going to handwrite my quote. So maybe I'll get a bit of a botanical under there as well. Oh. Let me say, do not clean up your room, because don't tidy up your room because you never find anything. I think I'm going to add a little something underneath the bird still. So it needs something, don't you think? How about, looks good, so we'll put that there. How about, oh, this is quite brittle, that one, so do I have any more crocosmia? Oh, I bought a book a while back, and these were in there. Somebody has obviously had same idea as me. Grasses, maybe they had a romantic day out or something. So these were in this particular book. So I think what I'm going to do, and then I put a bit of fennel. I think I'm going to do that. I'll start off with the fennel there. Which way round does the fennel go? That way. I start off there with the fennel. Then I add that to it, like so. I mean, the painter's plasterer's tape is vaguely, it's a bit sticky, so I don't want to press too hard in case I change my mind. The bird will cover up the crossing of the, no, I think I'll just do that and leave that for another time, because I'm sure we're going to have a more use for those. Yes, anyway, so I am going to handwrite this particular quote on that side. And I, of course, like after complaining that I couldn't get any birds, find birds to face the right way, you know, well, wrong way, right way, I have found a few in one of my bird books. So I'll have to thank Darcy of Darcy Mixed Media. She pointed out that the Reader's Digest North American bird, they have them pointing both ways. But of course, I haven't got that book. But as I said, I found some in one of my books. Now, I'll have to get this right. Okay, so is that the right way? Is that okay? So that's fine. Okay, so I'll cut that off after. It'll be okay. Okay, so we've got that, and I'll give it a little snip down here, and we'll cut that off. Anyway, so like I said, my handwriting is not the best, and of course we have all this going on. However, I'm going to persevere. The quote that I am going to write with a date is by an American author, Jerome Dickey. He died in 2021, and he was a New York Times best-selling novelist. And the quote, the quote is, I'm doing this on here so you can see it. You can always have a good laugh if you like. I can always stick up something over it. The quote is, it's impossible to explain creativity. It's like asking a bird, how do you fly? You just do. So that is what I am going to write now. It's impossible to explain creativity. It's like asking a bird how do you fly? Question mark. And then here I put down you just do. And then I write down the bot. I write it here in Jerome Dickey. Jerome Dickey. I put it in brackets. And down here I shall write What month is it? January. January 2024. So that is my page for prompt 2, which is quote. So I hope that you enjoyed it and watching me put this mess together, as it were, and my mad ramblings. And thank you for watching, and bye bye.